Hey everyone, this is Victoria from Finsweet, and I'm really excited to have Gabriel Perez with us in this session. So Gabe is a senior video editor at Finsweet, and today we're going to share all the different type of content we do, what platforms we use, and some of the equipment we also use for everything to look really cool. So Gabe, I'm really excited to have you here in this session. How are you doing?
Hey Vicky, really happy to be here today. Hopefully the tips and tricks we'll share today will prove useful when you're making your own content. So let's check it out.
That's sweet.
So all the cool content you see on YouTube, all the cool intros, all the cool animations, the music, how everything is edited, that's Gabe. So Gabe is behind the scenes doing that. So all the sessions you see that we always have the recordings, but when you see the produced version that is way cooler with everything more integrated, that's Gabe when he does it. So I'm finally happy here to present you so you can see him face, so you can get to know him a little bit better, that he's behind the scenes. And a little bit more about Gabe. Well, Gabe has been for 2 years here at Finsweet. He's located in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, to be specific. And I'm going to leave it up to him so he can share a little bit more about himself. So, Gabe, the mic is yours.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so I started working here at Finsweet 2 years ago, but up to that point, I had worked in various genres, ranging from music video production to documentaries and corporate videos. So that's basically my background. And yeah, really, really happy to be here.
Yeah, so Gabe and I were part of the community team here at Finsweet. We are 4 right now. So Gabe does the video editing production. He's in charge of all of that. And then Matisse, he's in charge of all the part of the design. So everything cool you send the thumbnails or the design on the live streams or something like that, that's Matisse. And then we just welcomed Hafiz. He's new in the team, and he's the one that is managing Twitter. So everything is in Twitter, that's Hafiz. So we're 2 out of 4 of the community team here sharing this with you. And if you don't know me, my name is Victoria. I'm the head of community, and I also do HR here at Finsweet. I'm from Mexico. I'm specifically in Monterrey. And well, I love what I do. I love helping people and try to bring all the education and different type of content to help different goals people have. So that's why we try to do mental health. We have to share this of content, of course, with Webflow, more technical with Alex. So we try to have a variety of different types of sessions for different things people like to learn.
Today we're sharing which platforms we use to make the content we are making, the equipment we use to make that content, and the setup and preparation we do in advance to get everything set up. And the content we do here at Finsweet are basically live streams. Last year we used to do them 2 times a week. This year we've scaled that down a little bit, but we always love doing our live streams and they do really well. So those are usually, always outputted to YouTube. We also do recorded tutorials. The bigger amount of them are done here on Zoom as sessions. But we also do recorded tutorials that I edit and then we release them. We also do shorts nowadays. The shorts are shared on Instagram and TikTok, sometimes on Twitter, but mostly Instagram and TikTok. And they honestly do really well, so we always love doing those. And then we also use Twitter, which is mainly used to communicate with the community and engage with them, but also share the latest news and everything we're doing. And when the content lends itself well to podcasting, we use, for instance, a session that worked well. For instance, the mental health session we did, that one we release as a podcast too, because it's really nice content you can listen to while you're working out or you're driving. So yeah, that's basically.
Yes. So that's all the different type of content we do. And we would like to share the different platforms we use. There are some platforms where we're going to go more in detail as why we chose them and why we're using them. But here I mentioned some of the ones we use. Of course, YouTube, as Gabe said, that's where we release all of our tutorials and shorts and live streams. We have Ecamm. That Ecamm is the one we use for the live streams. We're going to go more in detail on the next slide, but with Ecamm, you can do a lot of different things and personalize it as you want. We use Vimeo to storage videos. We use Twitter, as you can see, to share different news, different content, different types of announcements. We have TikTok and Instagram, where we share posts and shorts. We have Zoom, that is the one we're now using for Finsweet Plus sessions and for meetings. And the one with the 2 squares, that's Sendgrid. That's the one we use for email marketing, which is also really cool to use. So we're going to go more in detail to explain a little bit why we chose these ones, why we think it's the best option.
Yeah, now I was going to say that it may be a bit jarring seeing that many platforms on the previous slide, but they all really do connect together very well, and they make our lives easier. So that number doesn't have to be as high for you if you're just starting. It can be 2 platforms, maybe 3, and then you can start growing out if you need to. It really depends on your purpose for it and your needs.
Agreeing with you, Gabe. Yeah, it can be really overwhelming to be one person managing all of them. So here in the team, for example, going back here, YouTube, it's Gabe, Matisse, and me. We manage it, the 3 of us together. And then Ecamm, Gabe's the one that manages in the live streams, but I'm helping on the background with the comments, with an extension we have. And then Vimeo, well, either Matisse or me, we upload the videos. Twitter, Caprice, and then Instagram, Matisse, Zoom, Gabe, and me. So as you see, it's like not only one person per platform. We try to be 2 of us to help each other. You can do it on your own, but having 8 platforms and the other ones we're not mentioning here, like Webflow or stuff like that, it can be a little bit too much sometimes. So you can choose which ones work best for you, as Gabe is saying.
For sure. Okay, so why did we choose Ecamm? Before deciding on using Ecamm, we did a lot of extensive research on all the options we had. And we went through OBS, StreamYard. We even gave Riverside a look. So OBS is the most popular platform probably for streaming. It's free and open source, and it's highly customizable. But there's also like a very steep learning curve to it. You really have to understand codecs and the way video works and bit rates. And there's a whole bunch of things that can be a bit scary when you're just starting out and you really just want to get live and not have to worry about all that stuff. So after we saw that and said, okay, this is maybe a bit too much, we gave StreamYard a look. And StreamYard is way easier. It's browser-based. You don't even have to install anything on your computer. You just have to have Chrome, give it, allow it to record a screen and your webcam and mic, and that's basically all you need. But the problem with StreamYard is that it's a bit too basic maybe, and we have like a community team, and we have people that can maybe work on nicer assets and stuff like that, and that's harder to get to work well on StreamYard. Then we found Ecamm. At least most of us are Mac users here, and Ecamm works really, really well on Mac. Well, it's basically Mac only. So the problem with Ecamm is that maybe it can be a bit expensive. So that's something you need to consider. And while it allows for design options and it gives you tools to do that, they're maybe a bit limited. So what you basically can do is just design things in Figma, for instance, or maybe like do a nice background video animated on Final Cut or whatever video programs you choose, and then export those and use those assets inside of Ecamm. So there's way to make Ecamm look more modern. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to just settle for the option Ecamm gives you. And then another platform we gave a look to is Riverside, which is mostly intended for podcast recording, but it gives you options to live stream to platforms if you need it. So yeah, while it gives great video quality, the screen recording was so we decided against it too.
And as Gabe is saying, the cool part of Ecamm is that you can design it. For example, if you've been to our live streams, you will see that we have a background that it's black and it moves a little bit. On the bottom, on the top, we have the logo. Then how we have centered that share screen of the camera of one person. And when we share screen, we have 2 cameras on the side. So all of those designs, all of that centered or to the left, all of like where the cameras are on the share screen, all of that is personalized. So it's really cool because with a mouse, you can even move the camera to see if you want it a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. So what we did is Matisse made all the designs on Figma of how we wanted our live streams to look. He sent them to Gabe, and then Gabe built Ecamm. So he built it for it to look the way it looks right now. And you can even modify of where you want the camera to be so the comments look cool at the bottom. And with extension we have with the comments, you can decide what colors you want the text to look like, the name to look like, the profile picture of the person. So Ecamm gives you that option that you can personalize it as much as you can on the colors and logos you have for your agency or company. So that's really cool because you're on sync.
Yeah, just one note here is that the extension we use for the comments is not Ecamm only, by the way. This is something you can use with OBS or Streamlabs or whatever program you decide to use, except StreamYard, for instance, because it's browser-based. But it's just a Chrome extension you install, and since we're all working remotely, it's great for us because it allows us to Vicky can send me a link, and I basically host the link on Ecamm, and she gets to highlight whatever comments she sees on the chat, and it really simplifies the way we work. And I forgot to say, the most important feature for Ecamm was the interview mode, as they call them. And it's basically an option with which you can just send a link to hosts, and they get to join that link on their Chrome browser, and it looks great, and they are allowed to screen share, which really makes our lives easier because I'm not the one on the streams, but I am the one controlling the streams. So basically, that's how we get things to work. With OBS, you can do something similar to that with a open source option tool called Video Ninja, but it gets way more complex faster. So it gets very messy really fast and very easy to get messy. So that's why we're using Ecamm, because, for instance, if I had to take vacations or I'm on a sick day or we had to do a live stream, and it's fairly easy enough to use that maybe Vicky could take over and cover for me. So yeah, we really try to think of these things and make them, we don't want to be super essential. We want to give our most, but we also need to be able to, let the rest of the team cover for each other if we need to.
Yeah, so we can help each other if something unexpectedly happens. And also Ecamm has a private chat. It has a chat for the panelist and the host and a chat with the audience. So for example, if someone joins Ecamm, they don't have to have YouTube open. They can have YouTube closed because Ecamm connects, and the chat that you will see on Ecamm is the same chat that is happening on YouTube. So you won't have to have both open. You only have that one, and you have one privately with the host and panelist and one with the audience of YouTube. But as we were saying, maybe this is a little bit confusing if you don't understand the platform. So if you want to see a future video where we do kind of like a live build of Ecamm, we can share a screen to show you how did we set up, to show you how do we put our comments, how different things you should set up on Ecamm and everything, let us know. And we can schedule a session like that to share a little bit more of how do we do it, okay? And now moving forward to Zoom. So as you know, Zoom, we started using Zoom this year. We started in January, but finding Zoom was not easy because we wanted to do these sessions for Finsweet Plus that were private. The Q&A was only included for Finsweet Plus, like the whole live experience is only included for Finsweet Plus. But finding a platform that has kind of like the vibe of YouTube, but that also records everything on high quality was not easy. Because we sometimes found that some platforms, they record on really high quality the cameras, but the share screen, it looked blurry. It wasn't that cool. Or other platforms couldn't have live audience. So it was like we took around 2 months of looking over 15 platforms to see which one will be the best. And we ended up choosing Zoom. And I want to explain a little bit more of why we chose Zoom and how you can use it on your use case. So Zoom has different styles, but the two of the ones we use is Zoom meetings and Zoom webinars. For these sessions specifically, we use webinars. And you can modify it as much as you want. But for example, on the webinars, it's kind of like the vibe on YouTube because you have live audience with the hosts. You can send emojis, you can say Q&A, but also the mic and the camera is disabled for the audience, kind of like on YouTube. So it gives the same vibe. We can do live polls. We as I mentioned, we can do Q&A. We really love the feature of Q&A because it leaves everything more organized. Sometimes the chat gets super active and finding the questions, it's difficult. You have to scroll all the way to the top, find the question, and it's difficult to find it. So this Q&A function is really easy to have everything organized and for the host to not miss any question and try to answer as much as possible. And then something else that we really like of Zoom is really easy when we have like a community guest or someone from Finsweet team that is not used to doing live sessions. It's really friendly. We just send them a link for them to join as a host, and they join and the camera is already centered and it's really cool. And of course, the best feature we love about Zoom is that when Zoom records everything separately. So after the session ends, we receive a file with with all the cameras separately. We receive a file with the cameras all together as a gallery, one file for share screen, one file for audio only, one for chat, one for the Q&A, one for the polls. So we receive everything that happened in this experience all separate. And that's really cool because it helps Gabe to be able to edit it more easily, the video, to manage to where to put the camera, where to put the share screen. So it's really cool because it lets you do a lot of different things with the different files that Zoom gives you. So that's one of the things we really like. Something that we were not that excited, but it was the best option, is that the cameras, they are not recorded as high quality as we would love. But the share screen, it's way more high quality than all the other platforms that we found. So that's why we chose Zoom. Of course, having this high quality of the share screen is included in one of the business plans. So it's not free. You have to pay. So they have different plans, and depending which one you want, it depends what includes. But that's the reason why we chose Zoom. And well, all the different things they have is the emoji reactions, which are really cool. Sometimes in these sessions, we see a lot of people sending like applause or hearts or laughs or confetti, which is really cool to see. And well, we have separate links, kind of like on Ecamm, one link for hosts and panelists and one link for audience. And we can include post-event surveys. We are not including them that right now, but you can do it. If you want to know how was the experience for the audience, you can put at the end, instead of closing, it will pop up a survey and people can send feedback. We liked it, we didn't like it, this didn't work, and to go more in detail so you can connect with the audience. And of course, besides webinar, Zoom has meetings. And meetings is what we use for internal meetings here at Finsweet, is how we use it for Flow parents, because in meetings, you can have the experience of Google Meet, for example. You can see the camera, the microphone, on more like a normal meeting. But for these sessions, we use a part of webinars. As Gabe said, all of our platforms connect because we have the sessions in Zoom, and then that raw recording with a Q&A, with everything you see, that one we will upload it to Vimeo. We have a library where all the recordings, we're going to put it there. Then that video will be added, the link video will add it to a CMS in Webflow, to a CMS collection, and that will share it in the Finsweet Plus dashboard under content. So it's all connected. It's Zoom, then it's Vimeo, and then it's Webflow, and you see it in your dashboard. So everything is connected. And after that, when Gabe edited it, we publish it on YouTube. So on YouTube, as we shared, you will see all the video tutorials, where 1 hour long, 30 minutes long, 15 minutes. We try to give different type of content, short and long. The live streams that can be edited after, and of course the shorts. We share some shorts of the sessions just to give a little bit of bites of what was the session about, to see if people would like to watch the complete version or not. And one of the platforms we use is Sendgrid. So Sendgrid is really cool for email marketing. So if you're looking to start using email marketing for your agency or for anything, Sendgrid, it's awesome because you can add design, you can personalize it as much as you want. And you can send it as simple as you want, or you can add design, colors, bold, anything you want to your emails. So it can look as awesome as you want. And it gives you a lot of analytics. So you can see how many people click in the links you send, how many people opened, how many people unsubscribed, to how many people it was delivered. So it's really detailed, that it shares how much you can see after you send that email. That it's really cool. And now, moving forward, we're going to talk about some equipment, and I'm going to hand it on to Gabe so he can explain a little bit more what type of microphones, cameras, and everything we use, so that content looks and sounds really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So here at Finsweet, we mostly recommend our team to use the MV7 Shure microphone. Is the one I have right now here. It's really, really good. The cool part that it has is that it really blocks out the background, and you have to have it fairly close to your mouth for it to sound super nice. But if you get to do that, it really offers unparalleled quality compared to other microphones, especially cheaper ones. So yeah, we use Shure mics. Joe has I think it's called the SMV7, which is the more expensive brother of this one. And that one's also awesome. But you can probably get away with like a really nice gaming microphone. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one. It it needs to be better than your laptop microphone, and honestly, most microphones will be. What I would recommend, though, is to not use your headphone microphone because they usually are Bluetooth-based, and Bluetooth has very low bandwidth, so that means a lot of compression to the sound, and it's not great. So, yeah, you should probably, if you have a Mac, maybe the microphone on your Mac is decent enough, and you don't have a lot of background noise, you can get away with that. And if not, I would invest at least in a $50 microphone, maybe $70 microphone, and you'll get way, way better quality, and the people that consume your content will thank you for it.
Yes, I only want to mention that these microphones are not cheap; they're expensive. So there are, as Gaby saying, there are other options that really work. And I would also double on what Gabe said: don't use the mic on your earphones because, for example, the girls with your hair, you start brushing it, and it's always like when you're talking. So it can really make it really not a good experience for people on listening to your sessions. And why we think it's really important to have microphones, because sometimes you will listen to a lot of echo sound in the room, or like you won't listen to the person clearly. And for example, here in Webflow, we are all from different places. So maybe our accent is not easy for others to understand it because we are not English speakers. So also the accent makes it a little bit difficult for some people to follow. And having a more good microphone where they can listen to you, that really helps for people to understand you better and make a better experience.
Exactly. And as for the camera, well, you can use your laptop webcam if that's the only thing you have, and it's okay. It really depends on your laptop, but generally laptop webcams aren't that great. So if you want to step that up, what you can use is, the first point I would research into is using your phone as a webcam. If you have an iPhone and you have a Mac, right now there's a really cool feature called continuity camera, and it should work out of the box. It should show up your phone as an available webcam whenever you're choosing one on whatever software you're using, and it'll automatically start working. You just need just buy a cheap tripod, and you place your phone in there, place it on a place where it looks fine, and you'll have way, way better quality than you do on your webcam. So that's something you can do. If not, you can invest on an external webcam. You should do some research into that because webcams can be very bad quality and then they can be decent quality. So yeah, I would recommend researching maybe Logitech cameras or go for a brand that you know and you know that it won't scam you selling you a really, really cheap webcam. And then if you want to go really overkill, you can maybe use a DSLR camera as your webcam. It really depends on the brand and the model, but nowadays most of them work plug and play. You just use a USB-C cable and you should pick it up on your computer as a webcam. Right now I'm using my Sony a7 III, and this one particularly doesn't work plug and play. You have to use it's called Elgato Cam Link to capture it. This is a capture card. So yeah, but with your phone you should be doing really well. They have really great quality, and I think there's apps for Android phones too. If you don't have an iPhone, you don't have to have an iPhone. So yeah, those are the simple ways to step up your recordings. For equipment, what we recommend is using a Stream Deck if you're going to do live streams. It'll help you control everything way easier and faster, so you don't have to fish out for small buttons to change scenes. And that can get a little overwhelming when you're trying to keep up with the timing of the show and not have to awkwardly wait 2 or 3 seconds until you find the right button and click it. So Stream Decks are really, really, really fun and really easy to use. And incidentally, if you get a Stream Deck, you can also use it for editing video or for Webflow. I think we have some teammates that are actually using it for Webflow for shortcuts and stuff, for tools. So that's also cool if you want to dig into that. And then for the lighting, we really recommend, this depends a lot on your lighting conditions in your apartment, but you can buy a cheap LED light and then make sure you use at least some white paper or something to make it more diffused. But if you really want to go the extra mile, you can invest on a softbox, which is basically what you see here on the middle picture. It's like a structure you put around the light with a white fabric, and that white fabric really makes the light open up and not be harsh and not project a lot of harsh shadows that make your face not look that flattering. I, for instance, don't have one right now because I'm not used to being in front of the camera. But if I was in front of the camera more often, I would invest into one. So the lighting really helps bring everything together.
Yeah, totally. For example, me, I want to buy one. I don't use one right now, but I really want to start thinking about buying one to have like way more light in my face. And before moving forward, I want to give an example for Stream Deck. For example, in those buttons on Ecamm, you can use them to change the view. So for example, if you're sharing the view, if the view right now with the live stream is the share screen and the two cameras, instead of going to Ecamm and clicking and looking for the other view, you can set up your Stream Deck and you can just press a button and it will only share the screen. Or press a button and it will only be one camera. Or the button and two cameras. So as Gabe is saying, it helps you to have it way more easy when you want to change views in your live stream. So it's really cool to use it in those type of use cases. So how do we prepare for the content we do? One is a part of the designs. We prepare on how we want it to look, how we want the colors to have, that design on Ecamm, on the different platforms we have shared with you. One is a practice session. So this is one of the most important tips and things we think when doing a session. Because when you have someone as a guest or someone that has never done content, you have to have a lot of empathy that it's not easy talking in front of people. Even if it's live and you're not like in person, it's not easy because then you can forget what you were going to say, you can get nervous, and it's better if you have a practice session with a community guest or with someone in the team. So we can all feel more comfortable. Like, okay, what about you say this, I say this. Sometimes we do slides because it helps guide more the conversation. Slides is something Gabe and I would love it because it's more easy to follow the conversation for both of the people in the session know what's next to talk about. So it's like more coordination, but sometimes people do it without slides and it also works. But having empathy on the co-host you're hosting the session with, that's good. We will always recommend have a practice session and connect at least 15-20 minutes before you go live, because there's always something unexpected. Like, oh, my microphone is not connecting. My camera, this is happening. For example, today I joined the session and Gabe was like, your internet sounds really bad. Like, you sound like super robotic, so log out, reset your internet and come back in. And that's something you're not expecting because we connect on the sessions 3 times a week. It always works, but usually when you go live, something is not working at the moment. So we also always recommend to join at least 15-20 minutes so you're 100% prepared when joining live and you're not nervous once the people start joining. Something we also do is we do an agenda or a Notion doc. So having a Notion doc with all the bullet points you would like to share, that's really cool because you can follow up the conversation and what you want to share next. If you have slides, maybe agenda and Notion doc is not that necessary, but if you're not going to do slides, we always recommend to do the agenda or the Notion doc so you can follow up the important points you want to share. And test the extensions. For example, we use the same extension on comments for Wisp live streams and for Finsweet live streams, but you will notice that both of the comments, they have different colors. So sometimes when we go to Wisp live streams, we're like, did we change the colors or do we still have Finsweet colors? So we join a little bit early, we test them and like, okay, Finsweet colors, so we change it to Wisp colors. So that's why we also always try to test like the platforms, the extensions, everything we use it so it works more smoothly on the live streams or on the sessions.
Also for the extensions, you can we also use it's called the window resizer extension for Chrome, and this is something very important for us because we need all the screen shares to be 16:9 here in Zoom. So we test that earlier on with the host. We make sure he understands how it works. And basically what it does is make sure that the viewport on their Chrome window is 16:9, and that way we can crop out the Chrome interface afterwards when we're editing, and the screen share will always look consistently 16:9 in every video. So it makes them all look, like purposely designed for it, so it doesn't vary, and it gives us consistency and it makes it easier to consume.
Exactly. And well, the last tip will be if you can join before the day of the session, then just connect 1 hour before, do a test session, and then you can go live. So those are the tips of how we prepare for content. This is what I wanted to share today with you.
That's it for today, guys. We hope you really enjoyed your time with us. And any last words, Vicky?
Yes, if you like this type of content, let us know in the comments. If you'd like us to do some videos where we go more like on detail of our platforms we use, also let us know and help us with a like and share. See you at the next one. Bye-bye.